ஆழ்வார் எம்பெருமானார் ஜீயர் திருவடிகளே சரணம். ஜீயர் திருவடிகளே சரணம். ஸ்ரீ பகவத்கீதா 9th chapter, Bhakti Yogam. This chapter is glorified as Rajavidya Rajaguhya Yogam. This practice of Bhakti Yogam is glorified by Krishna as the king of knowledge, king of confidential principles, very easy to perform, and so on. In this chapter, 9th chapter, we have seen up to 22nd shlokam. In this chapter, Krishna is explaining about his own greatness, glories, to make one understand the value of Bhakti Yoga. He explains about those who are practicing this Bhakti Yoga, how they are always thinking about Bhagavan, always engaging in processes which are highlighted in Vedam to worship Bhagavan. This Bhagavad Gita has a beautiful commentary from Bhagavad Ramanuja named Gita Bhashyam. Vedantacharya has also given Tatparya Chandrika, another Sanskritam commentary. Puttur Sri U. Krishnaswamy Iyengar has given Tamil commentary based on these two, and we are seeing this simple meanings with the help of the English translation of the same. So we have seen up to the 22nd shlokam. In the 22nd shlokam, Bhagavan explained how those who are always thinking about him, those who always desire to reach him, will be given yogam and kshemam by Bhagavan himself. Yogam is attaining something new, and kshemam is retaining what was attained. Krishna explained in this previous slokam that for those who are desirous to reach him, Bhagavan will ensure that they reach Paramapadam, Sri Vaikuntham, and they can permanently serve there. So they are getting yogam of reaching Paramapadam and remaining there without ever having to come back to samsara. So both yoga and kshema are given by Bhagavan himself. Now we have to see from the 23rd shlokam. In the 23rd shlokam, the context is after Bhagavan saying that I bestow Paramapadam, this yoga kshemam of being in Paramapadam or reaching Paramapadam and being there permanently for those who are fully worshipping me. Arjuna gets a doubt. That means there are some who don't get that yoga kshemam from you. And Krishna understands that doubt, and he is now explaining about those who don't desire such yoga kshemam, those who don't seek such yoga kshemam, and hence they are not getting such yoga kshemam. Let us first see 23rd shlokam. Yetu anya devata bhakta yajante shraddhayanvitaha tepi mameva kaunteya yajanti avidhi purvakam. Kaunteya, O son of Kunti, Yetu, those anya devata bhakta, having devotion towards other devatas such as Indra, Rudra, Brahma, and so on. There are many devatas. So those who have devotion towards such devatas, shraddhaya anvitaha, faithfully, yajante, worship them in yajna, etc., considering them to be worshipable directly. Te api, they too, mam eva, me only, who is the antaryami of those devatas, avidipurvakam, as not ordained in Vedam, that one should engage in yagam etc. with the understanding that Emperor is the Antaryami of all devatas, Yajanti, performing yagam etc. So in this shlokam Krishna is saying that there are those who are having devotion towards other devatas and they are worshipping those other devatas through yagam etc. in the manner which is not ordained in Shastram. In Shastram it is said that whoever is performing yagam, they should perform the yagam with the understanding that there is a particular devata for that yagam and Bhagavan is the Antaryami for that particular devata. So with that understanding that a particular yagyam should be performed. But there are those, as we have seen in the previous sessions, there are those who merely understand the Purvabhakam of Vedam, the first portion, which talks about all this yagyam, methods of worship and so on, without understanding the purport, without understanding the essence of that Purvabhakam, which is explained in the Uttarabhakam, which is Vedanta. Vedanta explains the greatness of Bhagavan, how he is the all-pervading super soul for all devatas and everything else. So without having the understanding of all of this, these people just worship through the yajnas the devatas who are prescribed for the particular yajnas. So Krishna is saying that these people who don't have the understanding and they don't have the desire to come to me, they are missing out on this opportunity. They are just focused on yagams and they are just focused on the particular devatas and they are getting the result for that particular activity only. Next, 24th shlokam. Aham hi sarva yajnanam bhokta cha prabhureva cha natumam abhijananti tatvenatas chavantite. In this shlokam he is establishing that he is the real enjoyer, he is the real benefactor, the one who gives results for yajnas. He is the enjoyer of the yajnas and he is the benefactor of the yajnas. And he is saying that because these persons who are engaged in performing yajnas without this understanding, their goal is not Bhagavan, hence they are missing out on the main benefits, which is reaching the spiritual realm, Sri Vaikuntham, and serving him eternally. Let's see the word by word meaning. Aham eva hi, exclusively I am, sarva yajnanam, for all yajnas, sacrifices, bhokta cha, being the enjoyer, prabhu cha, and the benefactor, mam, me, te, tu, those who are only engaged in Purvabhagam, ritualistic aspects, those who are only engaged in the Purvabhagam, they have only studied the Vedam. Without studying Vedantam, they don't have the full understanding, they only know the Vedam mantras and the performing of the yajnas. So they are engaging in that with that limited understanding. Na tatvena abhijananti, do not know truly that I am the super soul, I am the Antaryami of all the devatas. Atachyavanti, and hence they miss out on the main benefits. What is the main benefit? The main benefit is to reach Bhagavan in Paramapadam, in Sri Vaikuntham, and serve him eternally. And that can happen by practicing Bhakti Yoga with the proper understanding of performing yajnas, having the devatas as the presiding deities for the yajnas, but understanding that Bhagavan is the Antaryami of all these devatas and he is the enjoyer of the offerings and he is the benefactor, he is the one who bestows the result. When there is this proper understanding, when the bhakti yoga is performed in this proper understanding, then they will get the main benefit. Otherwise, they will not get the main benefit. They will only get the benefits which they are seeking, which is very inferior, which is very worldly. That is 24th shlokam. Now in the 25th shlokam, Bhagavan explains, depending on the person who is performing the yajna, depending on the desire of that performer, the result will follow. The same yajna, if a person vows that I am performing this yajna towards devatas, and I want to reach their abode, then they will get that result. If someone vows to perform the yajna for Pitrus, ancestors, then they will get that result. If they worship Bhagavan through the yajna, they will get Bhagavan. Let us see the word by word meaning. Devavrata, those who have vowed, we will perform yajna towards devatas, the celestial beings such as Indra and so on. Devan, devas. Yanti, attain, they attain the devas. Pitruvrata, those who vowed, we will perform yajna towards Pitrus, ancestors. Pitrun, Pitrus. Yanti, they attain. Bhutejya, those who have vowed, we will perform yajna towards bhutams, the spirits. Bhutani, those bhutams. Yanti, they attain. Madhyajana api, those who worship me through those yajnas. Mam yanti, they attain me. See, attaining me here means attaining the abodes of that individual, the target persons. So if someone is worshipping devatas through the yajnas, they will attain the abode of devatas. If someone is worshipping the Pitrus, they will attain the Pitruloka. If someone vows to worship bhutams, spirits, they will reach that particular world, the abode. And if someone worships me, Bhagavan, then they will reach me, says Bhagavan here. So here the yajnas are the same, but the vows are different, depending on what they vow for, and depending upon their perfection in the particular yajna, they will get that result. We can understand this by a simple example. A person may fight for freedom and go to prison. So going to prison here leads to glorification for that person, because he fought for freedom and he went to prison. But somebody does a crime and he goes to prison. So here going to prison brings disrepute and brings insult to that person. So going to prison is the same, but the reason for which he went to prison is different. Similarly, the yajna may be same, but depending on what he desires and what he vows in that yajna, the result will differ. The only difference here is, the main difference here is, all these Devaloka, Pitruloka, Bhutaloka, they are all temporary. So if one reaches Devaloka, he remains there until he has punya for that particular stay, and once that punya exhausts, or once that particular Devaloka itself gets destroyed as part of deluge, pralaya, then that person comes back to Bhuloka and he starts his karma again. So until he has punya, he will remain there, but once his punya exhausts, because that is temporary, he will have to come back to Bhuloka and perform karma again and continue on. So there is repeated birth and death cycle even after attaining the desired results of going to Devaloka or Pitruloka or Bhutaloka. But when one reaches Paramapadam, then there is guarantee of not having to come back. This is the real Yogakshemam which Krishna was explaining previously. So that Yogakshemam is attained, of reaching Paramapadam and remaining there forever, not having to come back. So that is the significance of reaching Bhagavan, so that one does not have to come back into this material world. Next we will see 26th shlokam. This is a very well known shlokam. Patram pushpam palam toyam yome bhaktya prayachati tadaham bhakti upahritam Ashnami prayatatmanah. The context of this slokam is when Krishna says in the previous slokam that those who worship devatas, they reach the abode of devatas and so on, and those who worship me will come to my abode, come to me. Now there is a question, is worshipping Bhagavan a difficult thing to do? Is he easy to worship or is he difficult to worship? And for that Bhagavan is answering in this slokam that I can be worshipped very easily. Nammalvar in his Parivadilesane Padi Padigam, explaining the easy way of worshipping Bhagavan, how easy it is to worship Bhagavan, that is explained by Nammalvar in that Parivadilesan Padiyai Panbudane, in that Parivadilesanai Padi Padigam. That is explained by Manavana Mamnigal in Thiruvayamai Nuttandadi as Parivadilesanai Padi Panbudane Pesum. So this talks about how easy it is to worship Bhagavan. Let us see the word by word meanings. Yaha, he who, Patram, leaf, Pushpam, flower, Phalam, fruit, Toyam, water, Me, to me, Bhaktya, with love, Prayachati, submits, Prayatatmana, who has pure heart, Bhakti upahritam tatha, such material which is dedicated with love, Aham, I, Ashnami, accept, eat and enjoy. So Krishna is saying in this slokam that whoever worships him with just a leaf, tulasi leaf, a flower, a fruit or just water, if they worship me with love and they submit, they offer me any of these which are very easy to get, I become very satisfied. I accept that offering with great joy. So with this he is explaining that he is very easy to be worshipped. With this we will stop and we will continue on in the next session. Alvar Emberimanar Jiyar Tiruvadigalai Sharanam, Jiyar Tiruvadigalai Sharanam.
To learn such valuable information about our Sri Vaishnava Sampradaya, please download Koyil, K-O-Y-I-L app from Google Play Store or Apple App Store. Our website is koyil.org, Koyil.org.